Welcome to Monday Monday morning with midday sports with Rod and the lunch crew. We got Fifth Down Sports, Chris Dietzen. Man, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. Another week down. Another week of college football done. Another another week, another win for Cooper Rush. So I'm living high right now.
Yeah, I can't wait for next Sunday with the Eagles and Cowboys game. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that game.
I can't wait for that either. I mean, we're gonna get both. We're gonna get to see what both these teams are. I mean, the Eagles finally get to play somebody good, and the Cowboys are the Cowboys right now. I mean, it's like I said this morning. It's like I said this morning when Cole was talking about it on Snowman's show. The Cowboys didn't win on Sunday. The Rams lost.
Mm-hmm.
The I mean, the Cowboys really didn't do anything to win that game. Anything worth winning that game. Offensively, they didn't really do anything. It was basically Micah Parsons in the defense. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And the Eagles are still going. But like I said, the Eagles have beaten the Lions, the Redskins, the Jaguars, the
The Vikings
Cardinals,
too.
and
You got to put the Vikings.
the Vikings. I mean, so this will be their first test. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
We can say this. You know what I mean? The Rams been a depleted team all year, so that I figured y'all probably gonna win. You know what I mean? I figured y'all probably gonna win easily like that because you know what I mean. They only have one receiver. Allen Robinson's not beating no one-on-ones or getting any kind of separation. Higbee's probably the second best on that offense. They can't run the ball, so I figured y'all probably was gonna get that one easily.
They can't. The Rams can't run the ball. Their offensive line is in shambles right now. And their quarterback needs Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good method for winning. Not in that offense. So I kind of thought going into that game, I thought it would be a close game, and it turned out to be the way that it was, and it's like I've been saying about Cooper Rush. He hasn't made a mistake. He hasn't made a mistake yet. So that's all we need him. That's all the Cowboys need him to do is right the ship. Don't make mistakes. Cooper Rush doesn't have to win the game. He just can't lose it for it. Like the only thing we expect is don't lose the game for us. Keep us in the game and we'll be fine. So
but I've been on social media and people are saying for both our teams, we should just keep on rolling the hot hand. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, this is Dak's team. This is Dak's team. But the thing is, don't rush Dak back. Right? Dak's coming off an injury. Don't rush him back until he can grip the football and rip. I've said this all along. Until he can rip that out from the far hash to the far sideline. Until he can rip that throw, you don't put him back. You don't put him back on the field, and you don't have to put him back on the field right now. So there's no rush in trying to get him back. But when Dak is fully healthy, there's no question about it. This is Dak's team. So I don't know. I'm a full believer in you. You don't lose your team to injury.
In our case, people are throwing up. Oh man, that's how Tom got it. I'm saying, man, you can't put Bailey Zappe in them same shoes. Oh man, I think people get prisoner in the moment with Bailey Zappe. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's one game. Calm down. Don't make the compare. You can't make the comparison to Tom Brady. Tom Brady. It took Tom Brady. Doing the math. It took Tom Brady 8 regular season games and 3 playoff games to get to where Tom Brady was. So that you need to calm down. And even then, Tom Brady wasn't being Tom Brady in those games. If you go back to 2001, the Patriots were not. The Patriots were running. They were running the football. They were winning games. They were winning games like 21-19. Like they were not smoking. It's not like they were out there smoking teams and Tom Brady was out there throwing for 500 yards. No, they were basically like, if we threw the ball 15 times, that was good.
But man, how do you feel, man? I'm really liking the rookie Jack Jones, man, in our secondary. He's a hidden gem. I think I read up. We got him for the 4th round from Arizona State, man. He's been balling out, man. The last 2 games.
Look where he came from. Arizona State, coached by Herm, Antonio Pierce, and Marvin Lewis, and then he goes to probably the best defensive back coach to ever do it. So, yeah, Bill. This is what Bill does. This is why they let corners walk. This is why they let safeties go. Because they know Bill can coach defensive backs. That's what Bill does.
You know what I mean? Because that first, man, I was heartbroken. I ain't gonna lie, I was heartbroken about losing J.C. Jackson. But with this young boy sticking up, you know what I mean? He's looking like he could, you know what I mean, be a good replacement in the future.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that he'll be replaced. He'll be the replacement. And again, this is a guy who knows how to play defense. He's been around defensive coaching. I mean, he's been around NFL defensive coaches for 4 years. So going into Bill's system, it's not a shock. And then Bill knows how to use those kind of guys. So that's just the way that they work. Now, you talk about Bill trying to find a wide receiver, that's a different story.
You know what I mean? That's right.
Defensive back is never in question in New England.
Yeah. He's definitely been a hit or miss with receivers and tight ends. But I'm glad. I'm happy about the win. We definitely need the win, man. But are we becoming a prisoner of the moment with the Jets, man? Are the Jets for real, or are they pretenders?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody. I didn't understand. I don't understand all this praise of the Jets. Like, okay, so the Jets beat the Dolphins. Like, you think about the last 2 weeks that the Dolphins have had. You, as a franchise, you couldn't have had worse last 2 weeks. I mean, from all the way back to Sunday, they were at the highest of highs after beating the Buffalo Bills. And then Thursday, you get the Tua situation. And then all hell breaks loose with that. And then you get into a game. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that the Jets were going to win this game. I didn't think they were going to do what they did to the Miami Dolphins, but the entire team was all they could talk about all week for 2 weeks straight was concussions and what's going to happen to our team and what's going to happen to this, and then what happens in this game? Well, Teddy Bridgewater goes down. So it was like, well, here we go again. And I think at that point Miami was like, you know what? Let's just throw in the towel. Let's get out of Dodge and let's regroup. So I'm not shocked, but again, the Jets gave up 3 points on Sunday. They give up. I think they gave up 3 points to the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's talking about, oh, their defense is so good. Their defense is doing this. They give up 3 points. They're still the 7th highest team in the AFC. 7th highest point total in the AFC. So, yeah, the defense played good against Miami. But for the season, this defense has been an absolute. This defense got throttled by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Wins will do that. Wins will erase whatever happened. I mean, they gave up 30 points. They gave up 30 points to the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 weeks ago. They won.
We all see what Buffalo did to them.
They won the game. Great. But guess what? The Pittsburgh Steelers scored 30 points with that abysmal offense that they have. Scored 30 points on the Jets. So everybody needs to calm down. The Jets are 3-2, which is great. So celebrate your 3-2, but that's the best the Jets have looked in a long time. So feel good about it. If you're a fan of the Jets, feel good about it. But at the same time, you need to look at the big picture here, and the big picture is the Buffalo Bills are going to put at least 40 up.
Oh my!
I don't care who's playing.
Easily. I was hearing, on social media, these Jet fans think they can get one from Buffalo. I don't see that happening. That'd be the biggest upset. That'd be one of the biggest upsets.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't see them getting one. The Jets the Jets are really weird. The Jets have had a weird season. They got their first win at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. Where are you going to beat Buffalo? You gonna go up to Buffalo and beat them up there? No, you're not going to win in Buffalo. So you've got to win at home where your team is 0-2. And not only 0-2, but you've been throttled by Cincinnati and Baltimore both times. So I'm not buying the Jets right now. The Jets are to me they're a little bit of fool's gold right now. But that being said, the Jets are usually just fools. So take your fool's gold right now because it's the best they've looked in probably 5, 6, 7 years. Be happy with it, but these social media is all about prisoner of the moments, and that's why I don't even react to anybody that posts on social media. I don't even respond to the groups I'm in because it's just absolutely it's just trolling, and it's just anytime you're like, all right, our team's doing well, slow your roll. Oh, you're not a fan because you don't believe in this team. No, I see the Cowboys are 4-1. I'm not getting excited yet. We still got to play the Eagles this week. Let's beat the Eagles, then we can start talking about what we're gonna do.
Let's get in some college football deets. Washington and UCLA. What you expecting that performance from UCLA?
Absolutely. I said it. I've said it since preseason. UCLA is I picked them at the beginning of the season. I picked them to win the Pac-12 at the beginning of the season. They're my dark horse team, and as I've said, if there's any year that they're going to do it, this is the year. Chip Kelly's had DTR there for He's had this guy for 3 years, and
Mhm.
guy knows the system. And if there's anybody who knows offense, it's Chip Kelly. So
What about this shellacking of Texas and Oklahoma? Was you expecting that 49-0
um,
piece?
I was not expecting that, but then when I saw the way the game was being played, Oklahoma didn't have a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that game. The entire first quarter, they had 6 different players take snap from under center. 6 different players. Not one of them. It was a depth chart quarterback. I'm sorry, you can't win that way. You can't win that way. And the one drive they had in the one drive they had they had a chance to get back in the game. Oh, the running back tries to throw a pop pass, and what does he do? He throws it right to Texas, interception. Texas goes down the field, scores a touchdown. It's 28-0, and it was off to the races. So
What about
Oklahoma
TCU?
not having a quarterback, that's huge.
What about TCU and Kansas? I watched that whole game, and I was very impressed with TCU's presence and the quarterback play.
Very, very impressed with both sides of that game. That was a well played game. It was a great game by both teams. It was well deserving of all the pregame stuff of game day being there and it being the big game. It was everything that we wanted it to be, and yeah, Max Duggan is playing out of his mind. TCU's got a big one this week. I think they play Oklahoma State at home. So this is the chance for TCU to say that they're for real.
Hey Deets, I got a question for you. When the last time Tennessee been 5-0 in the beginning of the season?
Tennessee, it's got to be in Phil Fulmer's area. It's got to be since that long. I can't think of any other. The Butch Davis era, the Derek Dooley era. There's definitely not. But we're gonna find out what Tennessee is this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama's coming in. Alabama's beat up. Alabama's beat up, and coming off Texas A&M, that was a tough game for Alabama. They survived, but this is the chance for Tennessee. If you can't get this one, you got a lot going on because Tennessee's still got Georgia on the schedule as well. So It's going to be a gauntlet the next 2 weeks.
Was you expecting Mississippi State to do that to Arkansas like that? Was you expecting them?
I don't know what Arkansas. I don't know what Arkansas is this year. Every time I watch them, they're up and down. Like 1 week they'll look really, really good, and then the next week they'll look absolutely dreadful, and then the next week they'll come out and play really well. So I have no idea what Arkansas is, but like I said, I watched them that first game against Cincinnati, and I said it's all about KJ Jefferson. But like I've been saying about KJ Jefferson is not an accurate thrower of the football.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get behind, they're in trouble. They have to front run. They have to get out in front and be able to play their game. Once they get behind, there's nothing you can do. And not for nothing, but Mississippi State with Mike Leach, with any Mike Leach team, if you have any cracks on your team, he's going to – they're not going to stop. Like, they're not a team that's like, all right, we're up 17. All right, we're good. We're gonna throttle down our offense. No, they're gonna keep going. They don't care. Mike Leach has never cared. He'll put up 60 on you. He doesn't care.
Can we keep on saying, can he join the bandwagon too? And let's pick it for Blake Corum to get the Heisman.
Wait, you join the bandwagon? I'm driving that bandwagon.
Can he get a Heisman?
I said that the last 3 weeks. This guy put up 170, 130 against Iowa, and then he puts up 100 again this past weekend. Blake Corum's the best player in college football. He's the best athlete in college football. He's by far the best player, and it's the reason why I don't understand this knockdown of Michigan. I get it. Everybody's so pumped up about Ohio State. That's why I have Michigan above Ohio State, because I've watched both teams. Michigan's a better team than Ohio State right now. And it's because of Blake Corum. Blake Corum is absolutely disgusting right now.
Was you expecting USC to be 6-0 right now, or you think they?
With the guys that they've transferred in, they haven't played anybody. They haven't really played anybody that's that good. The one team that they got was Arizona State, and that was the week that they fired Herm Edwards. So you knew that game was going to be, you knew that wasn't going to be much of a trouble. And so they haven't gotten into the meat of their schedule yet. So I want to see what USC looks like against Washington, against Oregon, against the big teams of the Pac-12. That's what I want to see. I want to see USC against UCLA is going to be a monster game this year. And then of course they end the season with Notre Dame. So USC has a chance. They have a chance to break into the playoff, but they have to they have to go undefeated. If they lose any game, they're out.
How about that strong defensive game of Illinois and Iowa?
Iowa. Well, welcome to the Big Ten. That is old school Big Ten football right there. With 9-6, 9-6, getting a 9-6 game like that was, that's crazy. Illinois, good for it's great to have Illinois back to being a viable team in the Big Ten. That's what the Big Ten needs. The Big Ten needs somebody in the Western Division that can be a rival, because the East is so loaded that all these teams, like, nobody wants to win the West. I don't think anybody wants to win the West right now. Wisconsin, they don't want to win. Iowa clearly doesn't want to win the West. So maybe it's Illinois' year to get it and go take a thumping in the Big Ten championship game.
Man, do you think Mel Tucker's in trouble, man, if he can't some way figure something out to get some wins on?
I don't think Mel Tucker's. I don't think he's in trouble yet. And the only reason I say that is because they did beat Michigan last year. So the thing that you'll have to look at, and this week is a big one. At home against Wisconsin, that's a big one for him. I think he has to win one of the three big games. He has to beat Penn State, Ohio State, or Michigan. He has to win one of those to avoid the hot seat at the end of the year. But going into next year, I'm pretty sure he's going to be on a short leash.
Hey Deets, what's the odds of Jim Miller getting a permanent job and be the head coach
Of Wisconsin?
of Wisconsin?
I said it last week. I think there's no doubt in my mind Jim Leonard will be the coach.
Because like
And
we've been talking for multiple weeks. I really don't see them get anybody big, man.
they'll call him the interim head coach for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no doubt in my mind. This is a guy who played for Barry Alvarez. Barry Alvarez is the athletic director there. There's no doubt in my mind. Jim Leonard will be the next coach. He'll be announced the day the season ends for them, whether it's at the end of the regular season or whether it's in a bowl, whether it's after the bowl game. That they're going to announce that Jim Leonard's the head coach.
Yeah, man. I think you need to do that.
This is a guy who played safety there, played in the NFL. This is a guy who bleeds Wisconsin football. So I would not be shocked, and I would be shocked if anybody else gets offered that job.
Man, that Alabama also, the Alabama and Texas A&M game was a good game too, man. I wasn't expecting. It was getting ready like that.
It was down. It was down to the wire. It was down to the wire. Texas A&M, you couldn't ask for anything. You couldn't ask for anything better. You had the game in your hand. Game in your hand inside the 10-yard line. So you can't ask for anything more against Alabama, and it still wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
It still wasn't enough, but you saw what the problem is with Texas A&M. Texas A&M is the same problem that most of these teams have. They don't have a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you can't play in the SEC. You can't play against these teams in the SEC.
Nah.
You don't have a quarterback.
Man, it takes Georgia. Georgia got another easy one again. I didn't know they play Vanderbilt next week. They got another user.
another 50 point. I mean the question we have to ask is about Auburn. Auburn is just atrocious right now. I mean it's a dumpster fire over there over in Auburn, and I don't see them getting out of this anytime soon.
That's what I was about to ask you. How do you think you can, fix the situation, recruiting wise, coaching wise? I don't think it could be a quick fix at all, regardless.
Auburn's never a quick fix. Auburn is a hit. When they hit big, but it never lasts. It goes for like a season. They have one great season, and then it's back in. Then they go back into the tank. So Auburn's in that low right now until they find somebody. Till they find somebody, they'll hit it big for a year, and then they'll go right back into being Auburn.
Man, let's get into wild card baseball, man. What are your thoughts about
do we wild have cards
to? Going? Huh?
Do we have to?
Oh man, damn! You're a baseball game.
6-0. 6-0. The Mets lose to the Mets losing to the Padres. I'm as a Mets fan. I wanted to win that series. I mean, when Max Scherzer did what he did in Game 1, I kind of knew. All right, well, we're in trouble. And not for nothing, the Padres, when their bats are going, they can hit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people forget the Padres were in the NLCS. Last year, I know they were in the playoffs the year before. This is a team. This is a team that can play. They got players.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts about the Phillies and the Cardinals? What's your thoughts about that wild card series?
That was what can you say about the Cardinals right now? I mean, that comeback by Philly in Game 1 was that was their chance. Their chance to do it. Their chance to do it was Game 1, and then, of course, that whole ninth inning just went over into Saturday, and now the Phillies are moving. Like that's what playoffs are about. Playoffs are about momentum.
Definitely is.
So that momentum carried over, and good for the Phillies. They're moving on. But who do the Phillies play? Who?
Braves. The Braves. That's a tall glass. That's a tall glass right there.
They get the Braves. Well, we'll see. We'll see you later. The Braves are gonna sweep.
That's a tall glass of vodka. That's a tall glass of vodka.
I'd be shocked if the Braves don't sweep that series.
How do you feel about the Mariners versus the Astros? How do you think that's going to go?
We saw with the Mariners. Let's just put this. I mean, the Mariners are riding high right now again. The Mariners were at their highest. They had that 22 win, that huge winning streak going into the All-Star break. And what happened? They ran into the Astros, and the Astros swept them. Oh, and they were at their best. The Mariners were playing their best baseball that they've ever played, and the Astros swept them out of the building. That's what's going to happen. Plus, you get a fresh Justin Verlander going in Game 1. The Astros are going to be very much trouble.
You know me. There's still this out there too, man. I have the Guardians getting the series wins and beating the Yankees, man. What's your thoughts on that, man? I think their pitching is too much for them. The Yankees.
The Yankee. What a circus the Yankees are right now. I mean, Aroldis Chapman dismissed from the team. I mean, as if things couldn't get any worse for Aroldis Chapman. I mean, that might be the best. That might be the best thing for the Yankees because every pitch he throws seems to get hit out of the yard. So I don't even think he was going to pitch in the playoff. But that's just another arm out of the bullpen. That's just another arm down for them. Yeah, the Yankees have to win. They have to win the first 5 innings because their bullpen is. You can't trust that bullpen right now.
But do you think they can sustain them kind of performances out there? The pitching group.
I don't trust the Yankees pitch. I don't trust the Yankees pitching staff, but at the same time, I don't trust the. I'm not calling them the Guardians. I don't trust the Cleveland Indians anymore than you have. I mean, every time they get in the playoffs, it's the Indians find a way to lose. I mean, go back to they allowed the Cubs to win a World Series. I'm not forgiving them for that.
It's about time, man, because every Cub fan was watching Rookie of the Year, the kid movie.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
The Cubs did it.
Yeah, with Gary Busey as the star pitcher.
Oh man, Deets. What do you have coming up this week, man?
Well, we didn't get to do the show last week because there was a scheduling issue with my girl Katie. So Katie's gonna come on this week. We talked about it before the show last week. We talked about it, and I have her booked for Thursday. So she's gonna come on, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna do our concussion talk. That is what we're doing on the show this week. Because again, concussions are just everybody's just becoming an armchair doctor on this, and I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with the national media of everybody all of a sudden, oh, concussion protocols need to be changed. All right, well, what is the protocol? Like, does anybody know what the protocol is? Because I don't even know what the protocol is. I don't know what it means. If a guy's got a concussion, does that mean they're done? Does that mean they get to go back in the game? I have no idea, and that's why I'm gonna have Katie on to be as a trainer. What she does, how she handles it, and then we'll go from there. Once she tells me what a true concussion protocol is, then we'll talk about the NFL.
Okay.
But I saw something on Saturday that I almost fell out of my bed when I was watching. So on MSNBC, this is national news. They said, I want to ask you this, Rod. I want to see if you could find. I want to see if you could find the error in this statement. They said, and I quote, "This Tua Tagovailoa injury shows that white owners and white coaches don't care about black players." Can you find the trouble in that statement?
First of all, Tua is not black.
That was exactly what I said. That was the headline.
I think he's the Islander.
Tua Tagovailoa shows that the NFL doesn't care about black people, and I was like, he's Samoan. Yeah. That doesn't. How does that work? And then to talk about white coaches, they said white owners and white coaches, and I said, Mike McDonald is biracial. His father's black. Like I was like, what is going on here? This is why I've suspended my program until we start talking about concussions, because this is what people are going crazy with this. And the funniest thing is they had the old ESPN anchor Michael Smith on there, and he was just nodding his head along, and I was like, dude, you're supposed to be a sports guy. Like, the first thing that came to my mind was when I saw the headline was Tua's not black. You can't use that. You can use a lot. There's a lot more statements that you could use. You can't use this one. It doesn't work.
I'm guessing. I guess Junior Seymour is black too.
yeah.
Junior Seau was black too. But I think, you can't really say that, man. It's countless athletes that got concussions and serious CTE who are not black. Look at Jim McMahon of the Bears. He can't even remember where his car is at.
Jim McMahon. Troy Aikman's career ended because of concussions. You can go like, it's not a
race thing.
It's not a race, but in 2022, everything is gender and race. That's it. That's how everything is looked at, and it's so dumb. It's just this is why we have to come out here and point these things out to them. Like, no, if you're going to use these statements, you at least have to get the statement right.
Man, I guess since you talk about crazy stuff, how did you feel about the punch of heard from the world, from the Bay to everybody household with Draymond Green and Jordan Poole? How did you take it?
Oh, that's like, I mean, I said this. They got a head coach. Okay, they got a head coach in Golden State who was punched in the face by Michael Jordan at the beginning of a season. And how did that season end? With Steve Kerr hitting a game-winning shot in the finals. So everybody's making a big deal out of this. No one cares. Like, I bet you no one in that locker room cares. Like, the guys in that locker room, they're probably like, all right, you guys threw down. If anything, they were probably like, all right, let's make a circle. You guys go at it. Go at it. Go at it. Have at it. Have your fight, and we'll move on. Like, that's how these things work. When you're a team and you're around each other all the time, things happen. You get in fights. Like, it's not. This isn't the first time there's been a fight between teammates. And usually at the end of it, everybody comes out and they're like, all right, go to your separate corners, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll be a better team because of this.
Man, two a days, man. High school, you can go all the way to college level, basketball, football, anything. It's always fights going in the locker room. It's always somebody that don't like each other. It happens. You know what I mean? Definitely happens. I didn't take it that serious.
There's always fights. You always have that. You know, I mean,
the hierarchy.
I'm never going to be the guy that sticks up for Draymond. Like, I'm sure Draymond Green was probably like, I'm just going to coast through this practice. And I'm sure Poole was like, nope, you're not coasting. I'm sticking right to you, and was probably up in his face. And Draymond didn't like that. And there you go.
I think he's this last year anyway, man. I really don't see – they really don't need them at all, man. I don't – yeah,
I'll tell you right now, Draymond Green needs Golden State more than Golden State needs him.
There's free agents right now waiting to get that call from Golden State.
They put him on the bench in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
They literally said, we can't have you on the floor in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
they were, and now they've got more of a team. They've got Poole, they've got Wiseman. Like, Draymond's role on that team is going to be diminished immensely during this season. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know Draymond Green from any. I don't know him personally, but it's going to take a lot. He's going to have to take a lot of humble pie this year.
A big pay cut. Big pay cut. He want to come back next year. Big pay.
He'll have to take a huge pay cut if he wants to come back. But I'm just talking this year. This year, his minutes are going to be down. They're going to be down significantly.
How many minutes do you think you get? I'm saying maybe 10, 15.
I'd say probably he'll still be a starter. So he'll still get 15. He'll still get 15. I'd say somewhere between 15 and 20, probably 15 to 18. Yeah, he'll still be a starter. So he'll get the first 8 minutes at least.
I really don't. His role in the league is not really much needed. He's not a mid-range shooter like that. He's not going to give you double-digit steals. We're going to give you 3 assists, 6 rebounds, maybe. It's not really neat. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not needed in a 7-game series, but in an 82-game season, he's one of those guys he's a guy that you need to have. Like, he's a guy for Golden State. He's a guy that you need to have in the 82-game season. Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to have him just to basically suck up minutes and basically just be that enforcer guy that every team always needs. So,
what about that new phenomenon? They call him the next LeBron. This Victor, I forgot to pronounce his last name. He's 7'4" with a handle and can shoot. Did you see him? The video?
Is that the rookie kid?
Yeah, and I think he's in the G League.
All right. Everybody needs to calm down. First of all, LeBron's not 7'4".
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and to compare anybody to LeBron, like, no, LeBron was a monster before he got. It's one of the problems that a lot of people have had with LeBron is LeBron was a truck, and they wanted to see LeBron just absolutely just knife through every. Like, he wasn't 7'4" though. Like,
That'd be unfair.
If
That's
you're
unfair.
7'4", if you're 7'4" and you're playing in the G League, there's something wrong with you.
Mhm.
There's something wrong with your game. No one knows this better. I watched Hashim Thabit play at UConn, and he went number 1 and couldn't play in the G League because he was 7 feet and he couldn't move.
We can say the same thing about Taco. What Taco do?
Yeah, all these guys. I mean, if you're, Taco Fall's the same way. Like, I don't understand why Taco Fall. If you're that big, how you can't get on the floor? Then there's something epically wrong with your game. If you're that big and you can't find minutes, for that guy, then there's something epically wrong with him.
But next, this has been an episode of Midday Sports with Ron and the Lunch Crew. I have Fifth Down Sports on Chris Dietz. Next week or this week, I'm doing my top 5 small forwards, and everybody knows who's number 1 is. Also,
are you doing all small forwards of all time?
All time.
All time. That's a tough order.
I know, but Tom Chambers is not gonna be on my list.
Well, that's the thing. Tom Chambers was a power forward, so it doesn't. He doesn't.
I just did that for my man Snowman.
Yeah. I know. Snowman likes to throw that curveball in there.
But also,
that's going over. That's way over my line.
Also, I'm happy this week. My 2 teams won. Jackson State's now 5-0. They go to this Saturday to go see Bethlehem Cookman, which I think is going to be easy again. But my real game, I want to see them the following week with Campbell. You know anything about Campbell? Chris Dietz, before we get out of here?
I know. That's way deep. That's a way deep pull. But I haven't seen them play yet.
Okay. But also, man, let's get the win next Sunday with my Patriots against Cleveland. Hopefully, Jacoby does the same thing and tap his hat and give us one of them interceptions. This has been.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I want to say about Jackson State is, I know they want to. I know they want to go to the celebration. I do not want them to go to the Celebration Bowl. I want to see them in the division. I want to see them in the FCS playoffs.
I do too, but
you know what I mean. Like,
the money doesn't make sense, Chris.
I know, but I want to see them. I don't want to see them play one game against South Carolina State in a meaningless bowl game. Like, I want to see them in the FCS playoffs and see what they would do, because I know they would tear it up, and then we get to see more of that.
I think they need to fix that playoff system with the FCS. But
it's the HBCs. They've got to say, hey, look, if I were telling them what to do, I would say, look, if your team qualifies for the playoff, you're going to play in the playoff. You're going to play in the playoff. We'll find somebody else. We'll find somebody else to, we'll find a replacement. We'll find a replacement for you in the Celebration Bowl, because again, the Celebration Bowl is great, but to have Jackson State is a team that can hoist the trophy. They can hoist the trophy. They can go into North Dakota State and they can take them on, and they can hoist the trophy at the end. Like, what's more important? A lot of people
think they have no chance against North Dakota State, Chris Dietz. I've been on the groups. It says North Dakota State is a different league against Jackson State.
I think it'd be I think it would be close. I think it would be a close game. And with Sanders at quarterback, they've got a shot.
Mm-hmm.
They've always got a shot with that kid at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one thing I would like to see. I would like to see them in the playoffs against those kind of teams rather than playing in the Celebration Bowl.
Maybe one day they get knocked off, and you know what I mean, and we can have that chance. I don't know how would they one. I don't think the HBCU commissioner would let that happen. First of all, because he's Deion Sanders, the big money, you know what I mean, cow right now for the HBCUs. He's making them a lot of money. So I don't see that happening.
I mean, at what point do you get to where you say a bowl game that's played before Christmas is more than hoisting a trophy? Like, you hoist that trophy at the end of the year, everybody's going to be talking about that.
I'm agreeing with you, Chris Dees, 100%.
Yeah.
Two wins in the FCS playoffs. He'd probably get hell of even more 5 stars thinking about coming to Jackson State if he could have a deep run in the FCS playoffs. But I just don't see it happening.
Absolutely. I think what they're doing is the equivalent of it's cutting your nose to spite your face. Like you're taking the big payday up front, but the bigger payday would be if Jackson State were to go on, even if they didn't hoist the trophy, even if they just played in the championship game. That would be a huge up. I mean, look at all the players that are going from North Dakota State to the NFL. That would be epically huge for everybody involved. I understand. Again, I understand the celebration. I'm probably the only one that watches the Celebration Bowl beginning to end, because I watch it every year. But again, I don't think that's a money. I don't think that's a money. I think the more money maker would be if they hoist the trophy at the end of the year. You're going to talk about Deion all day, all up until next year. All they're going to talk about is, look what Jackson State did. They won a championship.
We can go on and on about this, Chris Dietz. Hopefully the scheduling works out with the concussions with your friend Katie, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out, because I'm interested to see that. This has been a Monday edition of Midday Sports with Rod and Les Crew, also with Fifth Down Sports. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I appreciate whoever comes, you know what I mean, and watch this and views it. Also hit the subscribe button to my channel. Also hit the like button. Also go down to Fifth Down Sports and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button too with them. You have a good day, Chris Dietz, and I'll get out with you later.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Rod, and we'll do it again next week.
All right.